outside of Felicity, who's now back in third. Intensify and Rupert's Promise. Then comes Elusive Melody, and Zenyatta is closing nicely in the center of the track. Caramel Coffee has the lead, but you better take a look at Zenyatta to run by and do it nicely. Caramel Coffee left in second. Zenyatta.
Hello, it's Bob Pandolfo. Welcome to Power Pace on Tuesday, June 18th, 2024. Power Pace with Pandy and another edition of Morning Maidens. Yesterday was the first day I ever posted Morning Maidens, this new show on my channel, and gave out two horses, two maiden races, and both won. The 6 horse here was scratched, so the 7 who I talked about because of the pedigree won and paid $520, and I only had 2 horses here, the 7-5, and they finished first and second. Cold Exacta $38.80. That was a very good price for that Exacta. And then a Presque Isle Downs, I picked the 4-9, won, and it came out cold 4-9. 4 horse won easily, paid $360, and Exacta paid $12. Another Cold Exacta. Both these horses won easily. So now sometimes I'll have maiden races where I'm not actually going to bet them. I just want to talk about the race because there might be some promising horses in there, you know, some well-bred horses, but a lot of times they will be horses, you know, races that I'm thinking of betting. So today we're going to start out at Parx. The 6th race, not crazy about this race, but I put it in there because I like the 7th race. But we'll talk about it a little bit. You just look at the race. There's really nothing in this race. You have horses that are running speed figures like in the 50s. And here you have a horse, Miss Cinnamon, who is, she's never run a 50. She's dropping into a tag. I mean, it's kind of a suspicious drop, I guess, but I mean, she has raced as low as 25. Pinot puts his horses where they can win. He's got the top jockey. You know, they win at 31% this meet. So, you know, short price is probably going to either win or lose by, you know, a narrow margin and finish second. The horse that puts second, who I think has a chance, is his first time starter, Racy Ruby, bred for speed, homebred. Her full brother, you know, did win. This mare only has 2 foals. One of them won his second start. Looks well prepped for Bobby Ann Hawthorne. And Abner got off a horse here who he finished second on, Rural Upstart. You can see he finished second on that one, and then he takes his first time starter instead. So I put that in because I'm going to use the horse in doubles, I think so. So let's go to the other race, which is much more interesting. This is race 7. And now in this race, this is a pretty wide open race. It's a $40,000 maiden claiming sprint race. The horse that may take a lot of money here is Kohlers. Now Kohlers is 4-1 in the morning line, but probably will be more like, you know, 8-5 or 7-5. It's John Service, who's got a high win percentage. This shows a bull at work, making first start of the year. As you can see, this horse ran a couple of big speed figures in his first 2 starts here, and then showed some speed and tired in his last start, and then they laid him off. They come back with Lasix first time. Adorno does not ride back, which is kind of unusual, and you know he doesn't have any horses in this race. But I thought it was worth taking a shot against this horse. So they have to use the horse in exactas if you're going to play exactas. The horse I put on top is Standpoint. Now this is again Bobby Ann Hawthorne, first start of the year. Pennington, one of the top jockeys. Now this horse had been racing well. Now the reason why I put this horse on top, I'm not crazy that it's a sprint. I mean, the horse's best races are around 2 turns, but the race sets up good for a horse turning back like this because I think there's a significant amount of speed here, and this horse will probably be closing the way the profile fits. They had Lasix for return. The works look solid. Now, the reason why I put this horse on top, I went through these races. You could see that this horse started out in stakes races as a 2-year-old here. And then he ran a couple of races in the maiden race and then was overmatched in this race. Uncle Heavy is a nice 3-year-old who ran, you know, in some of the major stakes races. Some of these other horses, you know, Clancy 2 and Disposition, and, you know, I went through these races. And this horse was racing. I would say there were probably 3 or 4 horses that this horse faced that would be like 2-5 in this field and probably win. So this is a key drop, and I think from off the pace this one can upset. So let's look again at my selections here. So I put Kohlers, the obvious favorite, second. Another horse that I think could be closing is AZ Sharp. Now, AZ Sharp, you can see here, the trainer, doesn't have a lot of horses, but comes in here, goes turf to dirt, returns to Parx. Ran the best race of his career in a similar spot here at Parx, closing. And then they tried turf. He ran okay. He's got a speed pedigree. I think cutting back, going turf to dirt, probably going to be coming on late. And I think he can pass them all. There's a pretty good amount of early speed in this race. So those are probably the top three, but I did throw in Key Stat, who's first off a claim by a high percentage trainer, stepping up in class second time out. So that's kind of interesting. Those are the two most interesting races at Parx today. All right, so now we're going to go over to Presque Isle Downs, a few races here that I thought looked interesting. So we're going to start out in the first race. Not much of a race, $7,500 maiden claimer. Mr. Your Shooter came up good on my systems, but that was based on these two races on dirt at Mountaineer. But over this track, the horse just raced in similar spots at the same level for the same trainer and was just running, in 60, 64 speed figures, kind of just, chasing. I think he fits here, but the horse I put on top is Bundenberg. Stanley, the jockey, hasn't had a win yet this meet. You can see he's 0 for 25 on the year and 0 for 21 on the meet. But if you look down here, for this trainer, over the last year, he has 26% wins and 65 starts. So, it's not like he can't ride or anything, and he does well for this barn. This horse is second off a layoff, stretching out, dropping in. I think she's probably ready for a top effort. So, not a great race, but I do think that rates the top call here. The horse I put second is Cold Plunge. Now, this horse is probably going to be the favorite. Antonio Gallardo, a top jockey, is riding here at Presque Isle Downs, and as you can see, winning at 32% here. And Brittany Russell comes in. She's a top trainer from Maryland. She ran this horse on turf once in Maryland, didn't do anything but had post 12. Comes in, plunges in for $7,500. Probably a horse to beat. I'm kind of hoping maybe that horse goes off like 6-5 and I get a decent price on Bundenberg. Not a great race, but I think I got a pretty good chance of cashing a ticket there. So now we'll go to the next race at Presque Isle Downs, which is the fifth race. So now this is an interesting race. Let's see, let me just get in here. Go to the fifth race. I'm using Brisnet PP generator here for the PPs. All right, so now this is a maiden special weight and fairly competitive race. There actually are some well-bred horses here, a couple first-time starters. The horse I'm putting on top is shipping in from Kentucky for trainer Jonathan Thomas. Now he's good with first-time starters, and he's good with first-time starters going long. So this race is, as you can see, go up to the top here. It's a two-turn race, a mile and 70 yards, on the synthetic track. So he brings this horse in from Kentucky with a good turf pedigree, which usually bodes well in synthetic tracks. This horse actually has probably the best turf pedigree in the race. You can see over here he has a 118 turf rating right here. But again, he's very good with first-time starters, and he can send them out long. He does well in maiden special weights. The horse has a very good foundation of works. And the rider, Walber Alencar, does very well at Presque Isle Downs. As you can see, he's red hot, winning at 35%. Now, there are some other horses here that, are probably going to be competitive. Talonade, let's take a look at Talonade, the two-horse. Talonade ships in for Grand Motion. He already has a win here. He shipped in one horse. He gets the hot rider, Gallardo. So this horse really was meant for turf, and he was running, kind of evenly, really not firing, but he was racing against good fields. And then it was an off-the-turf race last time, and he just kind of plodded along. So on synthetic with this pedigree, probably going to like it, and he's definitely facing weaker compared to what he was facing in turf here, in Kentucky and Florida. And then the other horse that kind of fit here was the first time starter by Christopher Clement. He's very good with first time starters. This is a well-bred horse and, you know, well prepped. It's hard to leave Clement out in these type of races. He's just very good at preparing a horse for his debut, or her debut as the case here. So in this race, I picked the 7, 2, 6, and 4. The 4 is just the horse that's been racing okay. Now, I wanted to show one more race. Those are the races that I think are pretty decent betting races today. And I want to look at another race, which is the 8th race. This race, I just wanted to show something. This is one of those races where it's like, remember the old TV, well, most of you won't remember this, but it was an old TV show, which was even before my time. I just happened to know about it. It was called Who Do You Trust? Johnny Carson actually was, I think he did the show for 5 years before he did the Tonight Show. And he would have a husband and wife, and it was kind of a game show, but you know, there was some comedy there. But this comes down to who do you trust in this race, because the horse that is probably going to go off the favorite here is to Yankee Tea Party, I guess. So now Yankee Tea Party is coming back in. Now he was at Turf Paradise last time, and now they're coming back to Presque Isle Downs. And you can see that they show a 77 speed figure here at Turf Paradise. But the thing is, he likes Turf Paradise. He ran a 70 over here in his second lifetime start. And of course, that's a dirt track. 4.5 furlong speed figures. You can't trust them. And believe me, I did speed figures for years. I don't even trust speed figures that are lower than, you know, at a distance shorter than 6 furlongs. I take my word for it. Even when people have the charts and they adjust their tables, they you know, the speed figures at distances less than 6 furlongs tend to come up exaggerated, you know, too high, higher than they actually should be. So this speed figure to me is questionable because, yeah, the horse ran pretty good. He ran second. But I mean, it was a 4.5 furlong race. I kind of doubt this horse can run a 77 over a synthetic track. As you can see, over this track, he ran, the best race he ran was a 65. And he ran okay, you know, but you know, if he goes off the favorite, I don't think he's a great favorite. I mean, it looks like he has a chance to wire the field, going 5.5 furlongs. There's really not much in this race, so I thought probably get, you know, a good chance for first time starter. I just don't know which one I like. It's like I said, who do you trust? You know, I don't trust this horse. You know, I don't trust that figure. And then you have the 2 first time starters, both bred for speed, one a 3-year-old, one a 4-year-old. Both from barns that are doing well, both from barns that do well with first-time starters. You can see here 33% in maiden claim with first-time starter. I mean, with maiden claimers. This one here debuting a maiden claimer. This trainer, you know, 20%. The 3 does have the hotter jockey who's done very well, 30% over the last year for this trainer. I would probably think the 3 is a better chance to win at first asking. But the 4 has a chance too. They're both bred for speed, and they're both, you know, well, you know, look pretty well prepped for trainers that can pop a first-time starter. So if I was playing this race, and I don't think I'm going to play it, I'd probably key in on one of these 2 horses and maybe mix some exactas, you know, up with Yankee Tea Party. And I don't know. That's the thing. All the other horses look terrible, so probably just with Yankee Tea Party. But I just wanted to mention that. That's one of those who do you trust type of races. But remember to like my channel, and I'd appreciate it a lot. And also, you know, subscribe. And this is my second edition of Morning Maidens with Pandy, and it'll be hopefully I'll be on every morning if I can find, you know, enough races that I like for these maiden races. So lots of luck, and thanks for tuning in.